for my occupation, I'm going to show you how to dice an onion. The first thing that you pretty much want to do is obviously get an onion. I chose red onion, that way you can actually see the grooves that will be in the onion when we do cut into it. So the first thing that you want to have is a sharp knife. I don't know if you can see it, but it's pretty sharp. I had already sharpened this beforehand. You can typically do this by just grabbing a regular sharp blade and then just slicing through it. And then you just sharpen it until your desired sharpness. That's the only other thing that you need. The second thing that you need is a clean cutting board. Make sure you have a clean cutting board. That way there's nothing else on here, nothing will get in the way of the onion or you working. Now I'm going to show you how to do this two different ways. First way will be the traditional chef way of how you would dice an onion, typically for soups or if you're going to put it into food. The second way I'm going to show you would be if you are starting to cut something for the first time. Alright, so let's get into it. So first off, you want to trim the onion. So I'm actually going to cut it in half, that I can show you the two different ways. So you're just going to cut it in half, that way you have it in half. And now what you're going to do is you're going to take your knife and you're just going to slice just a little bit, because you got to peel all of this part off of the onion. This is all going to be trash. So you take your finger and you just slide it right under. This could all be done different ways. It doesn't have to be done exactly this way. And you just kind of take it all up and you throw it out. We'll hold on to this piece for later. So what you're going to do is you're going to actually take this part of the onion and you're going to cut it off. So you're going to hold your knife like this, and then you're going to have your index finger right up here. So when you chop, it's straight, it's sturdy. So you're going to just take your knife, you're just going to just take it off just a little bit. That's all you need. You don't really need that part on there. Okay? Now, this is the fun part, okay? When you go in to get the onion, you're trying to look for a nice even dice all the way through. So you actually want to take your knife and you're going to be cutting this way, because you're trying to get the dices at least as perfect as it can, well, as accurate as it can be for them all being the same. So you're actually going to take this part, you're going to take your knife, you're just going to make little small indents inward. Okay? And you're going to have pieces that fall apart, that's fine, don't worry about that. You go just in, just let it glide in there. That's all you gotta do, just let it glide in. Okay? Go again. Mind you, you're keeping your hand up here because you don't want to cut through your hand. Now you're just gonna do one smaller one right up here. And again, you're not going all the way through, you're stopping right about here on both sides, okay? So now that that's done, you're going to take your knife and you're going to go through and cut straight down. Again, leaving space for each one, guesstimating about maybe like half an inch to like a quarter of an inch between each one. And mind you, it's all still staying together so far. So you still got it, still going through. And that part you just want to be careful you don't cut yourself, okay? And like you can already see that we have some pieces starting to form, okay? Just brush that to the side. And the last thing you're gonna do is now you're gonna actually just cut straight through it. And watch, when you do that, look, you have all those pieces starting to just fall apart. And now it's all ready for you to be dicing and throwing it into whatever you would be cooking. And again, you're just holding it now from the back of the onion, back here. You just keep going through. See? Perfectly diced onions. And then you would keep going, you're going to use up the rest of the onion in the end. You'll just slice through it a little more. Just so you know, I'm not So now you just keep going. Still the same idea. You just want to brush this off to the side a little bit. If you have a few extra chunks in there, you just want to take them, just cut them up a little bit. Take a knife again. Just glide right through it. You don't have that many layers that you have to go through for this one. Then you just wash, and that's all you have left. Even if you wanted that part, boom, you just cut it. Now you have it. Perfect. So again, we're back. This is the second half of onion. This is all the pieces from the first half, okay? So now, this is the second half. I just washed my knife. You want to make sure you have a clean knife on both sides, that way nothing will stick to it, plus you want to have a clean knife because if you're cooking with it, you don't want food to get in there. So again, we're going to go ahead, just take a little bit off, just because we're trying to just peel it back now. Let's take it from like right about here. Oh. Yeah, let's take it like a little piece off right there. Just want to get like a little piece, that way you can start to peel it. It's a little easier to peel that way. Peel the rest of it off. And then again, just gonna throw all that out. Okay, so again, you have your onion. Now, if you are unable to hold onto an object because your hands, you can't really grab something, or it's hard to even hold your knife, first thing that you can do is that you can just get slices of onion, and then from there go in to dicing it. So I'll show you what I mean. So again, you're gonna have this side in the back, so it's gonna be back here. And you're gonna hold your onion. Okay, so you're gonna hold it. You can have two hands. You wanna make sure it doesn't move. Okay, see how I can't move it? Doesn't move. So you're gonna take your knife, and you don't want your fingers here. That's bad, that's bad. You wanna have your fingers almost back here, because again, if you are having trouble holding the knife or holding the onion, you don't wanna keep your fingers now close to the blade as you can cut yourself. So you're gonna hold it back here. It's not gonna go anywhere. You're just gonna keep it firm. All you're doing is just making sure it doesn't move when you cut. That's all you gotta do. You don't gotta put your whole fist down on it. You're just holding it down, but you wanna be firm, okay? You're just gonna slice right through it, okay? Just gonna slice right through it. And it would keep doing that the whole time. Now in the end, when you take it off, what you should do is that you have it, okay? Your hand is no longer, doesn't need to be holding that. You can take it off, point the knife into the ground, and then push down. So now you're not dealing with a blade. I was doing it a different way because that's just an easier way for me to do it, but just to show you, you can just push off of it so you're not actually going to hurt yourself from the blade, okay? So now let's look at this piece. See how all of these pieces, how it's like just falling apart? You can just peel it off, and how it goes in that kind of shape. Well, that's the same way of all the pieces. That's how an onion's made, is that it's these grooves right here, okay? So all you can do from here now is that if you wanted to, you can actually, now you're gonna start like a semicircle. You're gonna actually just cut like that all the way around, and you will eventually have decent enough pieces. They're not all going to be exact like how this one's all diced, but you'll have good enough pieces that you can use if you're cooking. So you're gonna start in the middle, and you're gonna kind of go like a clock motion. So you just cut through it, and look at that. It's pretty much like the same size pieces that I have there. It's fine, it's perfect, okay? So you're just gonna go in that motion, and again, now that this piece is here, if you don't want to have your hand too close, that's fine. You could actually do it without holding anything. You could have both hands right here as guidance. You could have one hand holding here. You want to keep your index finger here. This is where it's stable. You don't want to hold it here because now you just flop around. You want to hold it here so it keeps it stable. And you can have your other hand up here. When you do it, don't have your hand come down. You want to have your hand up here like this. So now you're not going to hurt your fingers. See how you're cutting? You don't want to have that because you could hold onto the blade. You want to hold like that. So now you're going to actually, I don't want to cover the light, but you're going to actually just hold your hand, and now you're going to just press down. Okay? And then you just brush them off to the side. You're going to hold it. You're going to push down. Same thing. Hold it. Push down. Same thing. Hold it. Push down. Push down. Push down. Okay? These pieces that we have here, they're still good. They're still usable. They're still pretty much the same size pieces that I have here. These ones are a little smaller. These ones are a little bigger. If that's the issue for you, all you can do is just cut it a little smaller now. So watch, you just have it here, push down. Here, 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 here. See? And look. Smaller. Okay? So that's how you can actually gauge how big or small of a piece that you want for when you cut through it. Alright, well, that's pretty much everything on my end. I hope you learned something. If you have any questions, leave some comments. And thanks for watching.